Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new podcast. We could say about that. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to the first ever episode of Kicking It with Keo. This is very chill. I don't even know if this is going to be going out, to be honest with you. I just kind of want to see how I do by just talking to the camera. This is probably going to be a YouTube exclusive while I figure out how things turn out for this new podcast. So, um, what this podcast is basically just gonna be me talking to you. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of guests going on, but realistically, I'm gonna be mainly just talking to the rest of you about some of the things that I really wanted to talk about, some educational things, some things that are happening in the physics world, some things that I'm hearing about, some science stuff that I wanted to talk about. There's just a lot of things that I wouldn't really talk about with my other podcast, the Ordinary People podcast, which I have with my other friend Andrew. Andrew and I are still doing that podcast, and which is I just kind of want to do my own. He also has his own. I'm saying a lot, and it's very weird. He has his own podcast as well. He hasn't created too many episodes with it. I think that's mainly because just I don't know. Um, I was supposed to be saying a lot. Is this how I talk? I always figured that this was one of the reasons to help me kind of speak. And honestly, this is kind of helping me out, even if it's not to anyone at this current moment. But it helps any other way. Uh, if people have watched any of my other YouTube videos and from my other channel, the Literally Camper Plays, or even my Literally Camper, or even see me on stream, you may have noticed a little bit of the microphone change. Uh, I do have two microphones. Given one. I was given one from my father from his workplace, and I purchased one a while ago. So I'm using the one that he has given me from his workplace for this specific project. I think I'm going to use this one when I speak to speak to you guys. But if I speak to another person, the other microphone will be useful. Or if I do the Ordinary People podcast, I'll basically be using that microphone. But this one specifically, I will be using this microphone. Maybe a little better quality. I have used this one before, mainly just to do it for poetry. That's one of the things that I kind of picked up as a hobby, and I haven't done it in quite a while. My room is quite a mess. I'm noticing this now. Um, I'm noticing I am saying a lot. Wow, I did not know I was that bad with speaking. It's that's a big flaw that I guess I have. And I'm out of water. So just yeah, this podcast is mainly just me. Honestly, bringing guests that I'm more attached with than Andrew is, because there's no point in bringing in Ordinary Podcast if Andrew and I are both not equally, close with, which is not really a high number because Andrew and I are very much in two different worlds. He's in the business world. He's also in Utah. I'm still over here in New York, in our hometown, and two different fields, right? We may have went to the same university, but two different fields of work, right? So there's no point in really bringing in, for me at least, any physics people. There's no point in him bringing any business people. That's why for him he has a business one, and for me I have this one. So will this specifically just be for physics? No, not exactly, not at all. I decided I was thinking about it, but if I wanted to make physics form content, I I can. I very much can, since I very much love physics and everything like that. But I would like to make it more long form and something that I'm not really in a podcast form. Because physics is very intricate and I don't want to say anything wrong. I am no master of physics. I didn't get into grad school. I I just have a bachelor's degree in physics, so I am no like expert, right? I could tutor, I could teach, but I will still make mistakes, right? A lot of people on the internet still make mistakes, but it's one of those things where it's something that I don't really feel comfortable doing, especially here on a podcast where I'm very much kind of saying things on a whim with very few notes. Um, so with very few notes, even with a presentation, right? A presentation that I would do for physics, realistically, I've been practicing for months, well, days, weeks, even maybe months. Probably not months, but mostly weeks. Of weeks of practice of knowing the information and knowing what I'm going to say to the crowd that I'm saying to. Like the presentations are catered to certain audiences. So if I'm just saying stuff to the general public, right? A lot of physics people would come in and be like, well, you kind of omitted this fact. And it's like, yes, because it's more for a general audience. If I mentioned too much, it would be one of those things where it would kind of dull people out. And I could talk about pop science and real science. Pop science and yeah, all those words of what science really is, right? But pop science is just to get the populace interested in science, and quote unquote real science. I don't know if I'm gonna do a audio version of this or even upload this. Real science is kind of like, you know, more in depth, more information. No, not really, not too many holes, but if the holes are there, that means it. You know what it means. Like if I don't need to say 2 plus 2 is 4, you just say, oh, the answer is given by this from 4, by this equation's 4. That's one of those intricate things that you could just say. But pop science, you have to kind of say the surface line of the information and let the popular kind of understand what's exactly happening. So I don't really want to do that for a podcast. If my friends are ever coming on to talk about physics, of course, we'd be talking about all this stuff. And it's mostly going to be my friends who are currently, that are in graduate school. And probably I want to talk about their journey and some of the stuff that they are doing to get into graduate school, right? They get the NSF grants to get scholarships, especially in college, and what they did. That's kind of what I want this podcast to be, and something that the Ordinary People podcast was actually supposed to start out with. We created that to be very serious, and honestly, season 1 was actually quite a different vibe than it is season 4. Season 1 was very structured and very what's the word? Structured, organized, and very like motivated toward a goal, right? We thought it would be a way to kind of a side hobby to decide and grow big, right? That's not really. We were, even though it was like what 4 years ago, 3 years ago. We were young kids, not really understanding how to really do it, because realistically, you need to do more than just post. He and I are just ordinary people. You had to do a lot more to be a content creator, and realistically, a lot more to kind of just evolve in the space as a content creator. I've kind of noticed this as I don't even want to call myself a streamer. As a very, very small streamer, like, you need to do more and more stuff to really get out there and even make some monetization. Like, you can get affiliation, right, on Twitch. Doesn't mean you're gonna make money. I'm sure there's probably thousands, millions of affiliates out there that make close to nothing, like myself, because they could stream for like hours on end, but they don't make any monetary money. It takes a break, but it takes more work than it is just turning on the Twitch and kind of just going at it, you know. That's kind of what I've kind of been doing, and I'm kind of noticing what I need to do more. Thing is, I want to do content creation as a side thing, but I don't really have the time to edit. It's not like something I want to grind on. I love making videos, and the thing is, my playthrough channel is very much something on my my thing that I kind of like to do. Record, play a game for an hour, upload. Right? It's a playthrough. I don't need to cut. If I want to cut, I'd pause. If I want to cut something else, it's fine. But it's nothing of long content. And actually, my quote unquote main channel, the new channel that I made, I've kind of been slacking on that beat because it's supposed to be monthly upload. But I've had actually like 3-4 videos recorded, and I just haven't edited them because I hate editing. Yeah, it's something that I've kind of learned being in this space that I kind of just don't. I love making videos and making content, but I hate the background stuff. I'm not from a place of money, right? I do part-time stuff. I can't really pay somebody to edit stuff consistently, especially with the amount of numbers I'm doing. If I got money back, sure, I probably could. It's a little bit safer. A lot of people do risks, though. A lot of people pay and then don't get any money back, but they kind of hope that one day it blows. That's okay as well. I'm too much of a little pansy to do that. Realistically, you gotta put some risk in. It's like gambling. I'm a little conserved in that sort of sense. I've kind of noticed, and for the last 11 minutes, you kind of notice that this is kind of how my brain works, especially when I ramble. I explore one subject, quick rotation to the next, and it's not really like intentional, right? It's just how my mind goes. Um, and on contrary to many people might think, if you ever watch my Ordinary People podcast, I don't like talking. I do talk a lot when given the opportunity to. I think that's just in my blood. My family, my one side of my family really does love to talk. It's one of our things. It's one of the more appealing things about my family is that they like to talk. They're very entertaining people. They're very well known in our community because they are so social. But I don't really like to talk, and that kind of I'm not gonna go into who I or why, but it's not really who I am. I'm very comfortable because I'm here. I'm here in my room and I'm just talking to a wall. Realistically, I'm just talking to a screen. Right? I have 3 screens. I'm more realistically talking to a wall. Oh, I hear voices? That's sick. That's just really how it's a little bit easier for me. But as a physicist who needs to present their work, I need to be able to talk to people. And honestly, I got practice at that during college. As a coach that coaches a pretty big team, or a coach that needs to really talk to their athletes, I need to be able to communicate and talk with them. It's just something that I really need to do, right? And I honestly think that I this will actually help me get better to be able to talk to and really bring the confidence toward myself of just speaking to others, and not only speaking to others, but speaking about myself as well. That is something that I really need to work on. Really just speaking on myself. And the more I'm actually talking, the more I kind of want to upload this, even though it's like a pre episode. I kind of want to upload this just because it's almost like an open journal of stuff. Of course, I'm not gonna be too open, right? As much as I very much on the internet, and like a good portion of my life is on the internet, of course, because during this day and age, I mean, I typically stream every day. I haven't streamed that much. I took a break, but I upload videos every day. Well, not every day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I stream about 4 or 5 hours. I have a podcast that I upload about weekly. I have an Instagram, I have stuff, so I'm pretty much on the internet, but I gotta keep some stuff to myself. And that's pretty much the case for everybody. You really should keep stuff to yourself. And that only popped in my mind just because of a little occurrence that happened during practice this week. I'm not gonna say anything that happened, but it made me kind of think about my life and everyone that's a part of it, really. And I'm gonna be as cryptic as I can because I don't want to say any names, or their privacy, but I don't. People could probably put pieces together of like what happened and what I'm talking about. But that's way too much effort, especially since all my, these are low viewing podcasts. Like the only people podcast is low viewing. This video is going to be low viewing. So if you were able to kind of pinpoint them all together, good for you. But there's no need. There's no need. You don't need to create a parallel social relationship with a random guy in his pajamas that he wears every single night, with an open closet, a Pooh Bear in the background, Neri over here, and a Kakashi figure. There's really no need for that. But I as much as I'm always on the internet, I'm very private. I used to actually be very much like everyone knows my business. Kind of got concerned on that after COVID. Like, there's no need for it, really. People don't need to know everything that's going on with my life. Only people I really care about. And honestly, even now, not many people know what's going on with me, other than like the basic stuff I'm coaching, I'm tutoring, I'm streaming, recording videos, writing some stuff on the side. That's it. I don't go in depth of what any of that stuff is. Like coaching, yeah. Like I coach track and field. I stream on Twitch, yeah, I play video games. But nothing really in depth when people ask. Or like if people want to know a little bit more. I don't say more in detail. Like I say the borderline surfaces. I tell you all the side stuff I want to start, but I don't tell you the exact details. If I want to, I have on my iPad probably like pages of stuff that are there. I could release if I couldn't. I just choose not to because it's my business. And I think I'm saying this mainly because of, like I said, something that happened, and it kind of reminded me of how secretive I've become, but also how crazy it is people put themselves out on the internet. It's kind of crazy how everyone's lives are out there, but you just decide. You realize, like, at least you decide what you put out there, but you don't realize even a little bit is out there. Like me saying this, I am also revealing a lot more than I probably want out there. That's just the dangerous thing about being in this space of how much information is actually being leaked. And the thing is, right, a lot of people don't intend to. The intention is never there to get it leaked. But people find ways, and it's kind of gross on how sometimes people find a way. But yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be. I'm as I'm talking, I'm noticing this is gonna be a very, very chill vibe podcast. I'm treating this as almost like a very professional one, but not. I have. I'm very making these transitions are not as good as the ordinary people. I already have some guests aligned. Of course, I'm going to bring Andrew in as one of the guests, and he and I are going to have basically a conversation of his journey. Right. This is very much going to be the podcast that is going to be a little bit more professional, and honestly something that I kind of want to create to kind of go on. Will it be as long as the Ordinary People podcast? No, it'll probably be like half an hour episode, maybe that comes out every other week or once a month, something like that. It won't be a long conversation, just like when Andrew and I speak. Andrew and I, when we do our podcast, it's very much good morning, have a quick chat that's off camera, and let's proceed with the recording. And honestly, it's him and I just hanging out. And that's actually a lot of things, a lot of podcasts that I actually listen to. What's Good podcast. Even The Yard. I don't listen to The Yard that much, but those guys, they kind of, I mean, fortunately, Ludwig's well known, so that style of podcast is something that I would like to kind of delve into. And honestly, to make any of these podcasts big, you gotta post in short forms, or have a well-known figure. But the thing is, no, we're not. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do any of that. We'll see. I've been kind of rambling on for about 20 minutes so far. I can't think of anything that I kind of want to address or say anything really. This has just been a chill video. Just kind of saying, welcome to Kicking It with Keo, really. So let me just officially say it. Welcome to the new podcast of Kicking It with Keo. A podcast where I'm going to invite some friends, or just me myself, and just talk about some certain things that are currently happening. Nothing serious, because I don't. There are many podcasts for that. Just maybe I hear something from the physics world, like I said before. Maybe I hear something from the gaming world that I want to talk about. Nothing too serious. Nothing world like. Or something more in the education realm. It's gonna be a little bit more freeform than many other podcasts have been. And I'm okay with that. A lot of people say define your podcast to narrow it down so you can get a specific audience. If you're too general, you're not going to get any views. And you know what? I don't care. Views are views. You know? It's whatever. I just want to do this because I enjoy it. It's a hobby. You know? Yeah. I shouldn't be recording at midnight. I don't know why I am. But here we are at midnight, recording the first ever episode of Kicking It with Keo. I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. Alright. Make sure you leave a like if you want to see more. Subscribe to this channel. You notice that this is a third channel, and I've had other videos on this. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see it. Subscribe to see it brings up the support. The audio version of, I don't think the audio version of this will come out, but an audio version of a podcast will be coming out soon, and we'll just figure that out eventually. I will be posting that and making sure that it all goes well. Alright? You all have a good night. Much love to all of you. I hope you all sleep tight or enjoy the rest of your day. Alright? Peace out.